My name is Sarah Baker with BalanceBabe.com, and you are watching Wellness Insiders TV, the inside scoop on becoming an entrepreneur in the wellness space. Now, today I am here with Shama Patel, founder and president of Air and Mud. Now, those are very simple yet mysterious names, but Shama's going to explain to us what these two different types of businesses are and what it takes to be a serial entrepreneur in the wellness industry. Shama, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Air and Mud.
Sure. Air is a fitness concept. We take Ariel silk hammocks and we basically transform them, and we fuse ballet bar with Ariel silk hammocks, yoga, circuit training, and we produce a killer 50-minute class. And Mud is an efficient facial bar. So you're in and out in about 30 minutes, and we use all vegan products.
So two different concepts, but still embracing health and wellness.
Yes.
So you transferred from a corporate job into being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. What was that experience like?
It was hard in the beginning. I was a litigator here in town, and I left because I wanted to pursue fitness and find something that I would be able to revolutionize fitness with. And, in the beginning, I felt like I had to stay very disciplined to make sure that the focus was there on fitness, basically.
So when you were transitioning from being into an office setting into working more for yourself, was there any struggles as far as trying to stay disciplined, or because you had that passion to create something, you were able to really just work? What is the work hours like? How is that different?
Sure. In the beginning, it was a lot different than it is today. In the beginning, I would still wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, come home, and attempt to have a disciplined work schedule to get what I needed to done. Today, I have a lot of work. There is no shortage of work. I work 7 days a week. Actually, don't take weekends off, but I take vacations every 2 months. So,
that's nice.
It's a little different.
Yeah. And so speaking of day-to-day life, what is it like being an entrepreneur and having two different businesses? What does a peek inside a day look like for you?
Sure. Every day is different. There's some days where I'm here being interviewed. There are other days where, we have a lot of operational madness, whether it be running payroll, cleaning hammocks, managing staff. There's so many different projects that I have my hands in on a day-to-day basis.
So how do you stay organized?
My iCalendar. Yes, I'm a very organized person. Everything I need is right there on my iCal, all of my appointments. I have, at the beginning of every year, I have my list of things to do that I'm supposed to accomplish that year. So no matter how much you might get bogged down with operational items, I always take a look at that calendar item and just make sure that those items are being achieved throughout the year.
And so when it comes to managing two separate businesses, how do you make that happen, and how do you keep productive and make sure that you're not spreading yourself too thin?
Sure. And actually, I have about 5 different businesses. Air and Mud are the two biggest ones, obviously.
Okay,
but
so we need to take some project management courses from you, huh?
And it's fine. But, they all play into each other. They're all health and wellness related businesses. And basically, as far as staying organized with those two different businesses, it really just, you have to properly delegate. You have to have the right staff in place and make sure that the day-to-day stuff is getting done, but you're still working on growth opportunity for both businesses.
So what are the other businesses that you have?
We opened up Floor Lab 2 weeks ago, which is a floor bar business. It's another fitness studio. And I have Uptown Yogi, which is a product company that services mud. We created that, just at the end of last year. And then the biggest one is a franchise company. So I just started that at the end of 2015, and now we are officially franchising both Air and Mud.
Very cool. And so the product line, is that beauty?
Yes, it's all facial skincare. It's a vegan product line, actually.
Nice. So tell me a little bit more about that. How did you create that concept? And
Sure. Well, so once Mud opened, I was there day in and day out, and I watched it, I observed, I tweaked, and I saw that there was a real need for a nice vegan care, skincare line, basically, that not just focused on quality products, but also had wonderful packaging, which did not exist. So I went out and created it, and it's our #1 seller at Mud.
Great. So viewers that already have an existing business and maybe they're thinking of expanding or adding a product line, what goes into creating two different types of businesses that viewers may not realize?
There's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of projects that I have my hand in on a day-to-day basis, and it really ranges from operations to growth to strategy to managing staff. One of the things that I think a lot of people don't realize is how much marketing actually takes place. And I have a lot of great relationships in town, and I network a lot, and that's honestly what makes my businesses successful here in Chicago.
And speaking of marketing, what are some strategies that you use to create more brand awareness in Chicago?
Sure. Like I said, again, it's more relationships and network based. So I work with a lot of the entrepreneurs in town that are in my same health and wellness arena, and we really don't compete. I mean, if you're honest and genuine about those relationships, it's word of mouth that travels and gets back.
How did you establish the relationships?
Honestly, it's just whether you go to another. Whether you go to a launch party to celebrate some of your other entrepreneur friends, or just meeting people through other forums. We've had a lot of entrepreneurs who come and actually work out at AIR, and then when I'm there, I meet them, and vice versa. I work out at other studios in town as well, so you always build relationships that way.
So to recap, to build more relationships, it's really just to kind of get yourself out there and always be active in your community, either going to networking events or going to other businesses, and really just being confident and assertive and introducing yourself to other people.
Exactly.
Awesome, cool. So again, on the marketing topic, if we can take a look inside your ideal client's mind, what would that be like? And with looking at your ideal client, what are some specific marketing messages that you would target to your ideal client?
Sure. So what helps me is that I am my ideal client, and
so you're like, what would I like? What do I shop for?
Exactly, right. If I think of novel concepts that I think that I would actually enjoy, so I dream them up, and they're very consumer focused, and then I launch them basically. As far as our core client is concerned, she's the modern woman who's too busy and has her hands on a lot of different things, whether it be work, family, other commitments, and just really doesn't have time to take care of herself. So my businesses are designed to be extremely efficient and cater to that modern woman.
So would you say that your focus of your business is being efficient? That's what separates you from competition?
Not just efficiency. Like I said, consumer focus is really something that I look at when I design my business. But outside of that, my brands are very unique. Although I might look at other brands for inspiration, I will never rip off somebody's business model. I am a creative at heart, so I have a lot of creative ideas that come out of my head. There's no shortage. So, when I'm designing a concept, it really is unique. There's nothing else like that out there. And then I take it, I tweak it, I think about what my core client would want. And I think that's what makes us really unique and keeps our business there.
Nice. So if we were to take a peek inside of your mind, when you have that creative idea and then you're ready to build a business, what would a strategy be like? What would be the first 5 steps you have to take in order to take your idea to a tangible product or a business?
Sure. For me, I always work in the space that I'm most comfortable in. So you won't see me, coming out with a clothing line that's, for club wear, for example. I stay within that health and wellness arena. So I know how to market, I know who my consumer is, and sometimes through my existing businesses, you'll hear, for example, in Med, I created Uptown Yogi because I realized that there was a real opportunity there for this vegan skincare line. Sometimes when you're in the business, that's when you realize that this need exists, and then if the demand is there, then you can go ahead and produce it afterwards.
So when you thought of first Mud, what was the first step that you took? Was it to create a business plan, or how did you really start to build that business?
Sure. I actually thought of Mud because I mask pretty regularly, and that is the one thing that makes Mud unique, is that the masks that we use throughout our facial process, they're different for every single person. So I was thinking about it one day, and I thought, wow, AIR does so well. It's a single service business. We just focus on Ariels and nothing else. And it does very well. We've become experts in aerial fitness. And so I wanted to take a chance on creating a facial bar and didn't actually know whether this was going to work or not, but I just took a chance on it, opened the doors, and it worked. Our initial clients were all the ones from Air, and we got a lot of feedback. We tweaked as we needed to, and then it is what it is today because of it.
Awesome. And did you create a business plan?
No, not for mud.
Okay.
Not for mud. For Air I did because it was my first one. But for mud, I took a lot of what made Air successful and I applied it to mud. So a lot of our pricing structure, the way that we have our membership set up, the way we market to clients, things like that. That's really what I designed it off of.
So for entrepreneurs that are watching that want to open their own storefront, whether it's a fitness studio or a spa, what would be the first thing that they have to do if they already have that concept and they know who they want to target?
Sure. I always say that for new entrepreneurs, they should really have experience in the industry that they're looking to dive into. It could be very dangerous going into uncharted territory. So, whether you're leaving your corporate job or whether you're stay at home and you're wanting to start a business, just do your research, talk to existing business owners, get a part-time job, even if it's a receptionist at a fitness studio. Learn about the business, understand it before you go and launch your own, because it could be a very painful lesson once you get in. And I've always said that I was lucky to stay in business. I learned a lot of painful lessons in the beginning, but not everybody's so lucky.
Yeah. And when it comes to finance, let's talk finance. Did you have to take out any loans to start your businesses? And if so, what is that process like? What do people need to present to a bank or a loaner if they want to finance their new venture that way?
Sure. I had an SBA loan when I started, and it was actually difficult to get. I got it in 2010, I believe. So, one of the biggest, the feedback that I received the most from bankers at the time was that I did not have any experience in the industry in which I was seeking a loan for. So I was looking for a loan in the fitness industry. I was a lawyer. They wanted to know, well, you haven't been a fitness manager. You've never worked at a gym. How would I know that you're not going to take this money and tank your business, right? So that was kind of an uphill battle. That's why I say, having experience in the industry that you're in, I think it takes a lot of risk out from a bank standpoint as well. So definitely have that. And then beyond that, just make sure you're a little bit funded. Make sure you have some savings set aside because that'll look good to a bank as well.
Awesome. And when it comes to organizing your finances as you're either first starting your business or trying to just keep your accounting organized, for people that they're not very good with numbers or it freaks them out, like how am I going to organize my finances? Right. What are some words of wisdom you can give to entrepreneurs?
Sure. When I first started out, I used QuickBooks and I hired a small accounting firm to help me with taxes and payroll. Obviously, where we are today, it's a lot different. We have 2 accounting firms, a legal firm on retainer, and my husband actually quit his job last month to now continuously keep us financially organized as we continue growing.
Wow. And so let's talk about marketing one more time. As far as digital marketing that you are currently using now for your existing companies, what are some tools that you think are most effective that bring new clients in?
Sure. We've acquired quite a large mailing list from just being in business for 2.5 years here and having our hands in so many businesses. But I use an email marketing subscriber, and that's something that's come back in a lot of great ways. So Constant Contact, for example, they're great. Yeah. Utilizing companies that are out there that are in place to support your business, such as Guild City or ClassPass, they're great as well to help kind of get the word out there. But ultimately, it's always word of mouth.
So back to you and your mindset and you being an entrepreneur. You mentioned that you don't take any days off. You work 7 days straight. So how many hours over the weekend do you work?
Just a regular work day. I mean, I wake up at about 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. And I usually work till about evening time. I take breaks as needed throughout the day, but I really just don't stop. I mean, it is 7 days a week. But like I said, that's why I take vacations every 2 months.
And that's really nice to balance it out as well. And if you're ever feeling discouraged or you're hitting any roadblocks, what do you do to stay motivated to keep going?
Sure. You know, it's easy to, you know, lose motivation. And for me personally, growth is what motivates me. So if I am signing leases or I have spaces under construction or I'm signing up new franchisees, that's growth to me. And that's what keeps me motivated and keeps going.
Awesome. So what's next? I know you have so many businesses and ideas that you're working on. Right. What is next for you in 2016?
Sure. Well, I just started my franchise company at the end of last year. So that's really the main focus now is franchising the brands that we've put in place and created. And we have quite a few franchisees already. And just focusing on that, it's a whole nother beast than operating studios.
I bet. So for viewers that are watching, how else can they find out about you and your companies? What websites can they go to?
Sure. They can go to airfitnow.com, mudfacialbar.com, and floorlabbar.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us.
No problem.
And you guys have been tuning into Wellness Insiders TV, and I will see you next time.